Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Remi for those that are new here, and if you're new here, just hit the subscribe button down below and join the family. So today's video, we're going to be trying to upcycle scrap fabrics. For the past like 3 to 4 months, I started keeping all my scraps, like even the thread. So I'm just trying to do my part to reduce the waste that we generate from garment production. So I've been keeping all my scrap fabrics, and I'm going to try to make use of them. I'll be making a pink cushion, a throw pillow, maybe a ham. I don't know, I don't want to make this video too long. So basically I will try to make as much as the scrap can accommodate or the scrap can allow. I really want to try to do my best, my tiny little bit, to make this environment, to make our environment a better place. So thank you for joining me today, and let us all try to do our bit, our small bit, and it will become a big effect, like the butterfly effect. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yes, that poem, little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Yes, if we all put our tiny little drop even into making the environment better, then trust me, our children and grandchildren will thank us for this. So yes, without further ado, let's get started. And yes, before I go, and even this cute beret I'm wearing was made from scrap fabric. So yes, you can make so many cute accessories, scrunchies. I have here are some accessories. This is a bucket hat I made out of scrap fabric, and it's reversible, so you can even use 2 different patterns. This is a turban headband I made out of scrap fabric. This is a regular headband I made out of scrap fabric. So yes, definitely, before you throw out that scrap fabric, think, what can I use this for? From scrap to cash, guys. This can even make you money. I'm sure if I make this to sell, people will buy it because it's so cute. Yeah, I really love it. So from scrap to cash, let's get started. This introduction has gone on for too long. Let's get out the scrap. This is a lot of scrap fabric, guys, a lot. So what I want to try to do, in fact, I have some, like when I was trying out corsets making, I tried out a couple before I got the perfect one. So all those things are just in here, basically. So what I noticed is, this is quite large, so I can use this for the pillow cover, for the throw pillow cover. But I want to mix it with this because I think navy and mustard go really well. But this one is long, so I may need to join it, like cut out strips and join together. But basically I think I'm going to use these 2 for the pillow cover. And then, because I don't want it to just be 2 plain fabrics, I want to infuse some Ankara in it. I'm going to try to get out strips of nice Ankara fabric. I just need like 1 inch, and then I will sew it into the edge of the pillow, basically, so it can have like this decorative thing going with different Ankara fabric. So now what we're going to do is, for all these, I'll try to, I don't like to use this part of fabric at all. I'll rather cut it out and work around it. But since this is going to be stuffed into throw pillows, pink cushion, and all those things, I'm going to iron these out. Then I decided to keep things like this for satin bonnets, because when I saw it, I'm like, this is perfect for a bonnet. It's round, so I'll try to get a second piece, and it's like a satin material, basically. So I'll try to get a second piece that would serve for the second part of this bonnet, because I have a thing for reversible bonnets. So let me know about you guys. I will sort this out and then come back to show you guys what I managed to find. So what I'm going to do is, all the fabrics that I know I won't be using, like all the tiny fabrics, I'm going to put them aside and even cut them into smaller pieces that is suitable for stuffing. So I will do that now. I will separate these. I'm going to look for big pieces that I can use for like the outer covering, and then the tiny pieces that I can use for anything will serve as stuffing. So satin is done. These over here are the scraps that I'm going to be cutting into smaller pieces. This was me trying out my corset pattern, and this was actually so perfect. different stages of the corset pattern before we go to the final and working patterns. And this over here, I'm thinking of making into like wearable muslins. So this was me trying out my culotte pattern, my culotte shirts before I made the corset bracelet, and it's actually so cute. I'm thinking of just adding a band and a zipper, and you know, this can be worn inside. And this is my, if you watch my video on how to draft a trouser pattern, then you remember this. And this is also so cute, so I'm thinking of just finishing it up, making it look nice to at least wear inside, or you know, yeah. So I'll put this aside. I can decide to turn them into shreds for fillings later on, but so far we're going to be shredding these into smaller pieces to fill up. Over here I have things that I think are big enough to act as casing. So this is going to be acting as like casing for our throw pillow. I'm also going to be using this, and then I'll use the Ankara to like decorate it. So I'm thinking of having like Ankara around the edge just to make it look nice. So I'm going to be joining these Ankaras together into strips. So I'll be cutting out like 1-inch strips and using it to decorate the edges. And over here I've moved on my paper. So now I'm going to cut all of this and then sort out the strips here and cut out the casing. So over here I have some shredded fabric that I will stuff into the pillow. If this isn't enough, we can always shred more from here. Here I still have my full fabric. That is like the fabrics that I think are big enough to be used as covers, or basically fabric that I am not planning to shred just yet. And now it's time to sew my strips together. So because I did not have a long continuous fabric, I cut like strips. So I'm going to join these 3 strips together to get my square, to get my square for 1/2 of the pillow, and this will serve for the second half of the pillow. That's the second side of the pillow. Then I'm going to sew these Ankara strips that I cut. I'm just going to sew them together because I'm going to fold it into the edge of the pillow just to make it look nice. And this was one of my fabric scraps that just looked so much like a bralette, like a rectangle bralette or something, and I wanted to show you guys. What do you guys think? Okay, time to shred it now. Now I'll go ahead and sew the strips together. So I'm done sewing the strips together. I have my front and back throw pillow squares. So now I'm going to go ahead, take this, I already ironed it down so it's nice and flat, and then just place it this way such that the good side is facing like this part of the fabric. I hope you guys can see. So by the time we sew this, it's going to be covered on the inside. So I'll pin this down here, and then when I get to this point here, I'm going to cut it out and I'll pin this here. This is just easier because I was trying to place it all together at once, but that did not seem to work out very well. Then now I'll place this here, and I'll just go ahead and do the same thing for the remaining 3 sides. So when you're pinning, just make sure that the folded edge is what is showing on like the inside, so that when you're done, this folded edge is what will show on the outside. So now I can cut this off, and we even have some more that we can use for another pillow, because if I have enough fabric scraps, I might make a second pillow. And now I'm just going to pin this on top, and I'll go ahead and sew it round, but I'll make sure to leave about 5 inches on one end. So yeah, just to make sure I have space to stuff the pillow once I'm done sewing. So I'll go ahead now, sew it and show you guys, and it's time to stuff, the fun part. Yes, so I'm done sewing. I'll just go ahead and trim the edges. Can you see I made sure to leave, I should have even left more, but I can always loosen it out. Now I'll turn it inside. This, oh my god guys, I think it's so cute. So this is our pillow cover. Now it's time to stuff. So I moved the shredded scrap fabrics to the table, and now it's time to stuff it into our pillow cover. So I'm just going to start stuffing.
Get a drum as a toy for Christmas. Was one of the greatest innovators. The note to and the right. It's a holy art full of pan.
Guys, look at this. Like, it's actually so fluffy and so nice, and it's so cute. Oh god. So now there's just one last step left. I'm just making sure every last thread and scrap goes in here. So I think this is perfect. I'll go ahead now, use my needle and thread, just sew like a blind stitch here. So I already attached this Ankara to the blue fabric, so I'm just going to sew this way and blind stitch it. So this, so it's nice and neat, and then I'll show you guys the result, and our throw pillow is ready. So I decided to make it even a second pillow because I cut out more filling basically, and then I decided to make even a second pillow, but I've not closed this yet, so I'm just gonna keep this aside. I want to make my pink cushion, and then if I still have some filling left, I'll put it in here and close this. But this is closed already, and yes, I got lazy. I just used my sewing machine. It's not the best, but I think it looks good, and this is so fluffy, guys. Like, it's so nice and fluffy. So I'll put these two aside now. Yes, I think this is actually really nice. So I just use my Ankara for the edges. So I'll put these two aside now, and then I'll work on my pink cushion. So for the pink cushion, I just use this to create a circle on a paper. So it's about 4 inches. The diameter of the circle is about 4 inches. So now I'll go ahead and cut this out. I decided to use this fabric for my pin cushion casing, so I'll just cut 2 of this right now. So I'll pin it down, and I'll go ahead and cut it out. Now that I have my circle, I should put this away. I'm just going to remove this. I'll keep this in case I want to make a second one, maybe for myself or for a friend. Then I'll go ahead and sew this right sides together and just leave like a tiny space that I'm going to use to stuff it in. So I'm just going to turn this inside out, just push out all the edges. Now we'll fill it up. Let's see just how much this can take.
Get a drum as a toy for Christmas. Was one of the greatest innovators. The note to and
once I'm satisfied with this, I'll go ahead and use my needle and thread to just finish up this edge, and that's it, guys. So here's our pin cushion all done. Next, I decided to make scrunchies. So for the scrunchies, I cut out 23 inches by 5 inches for this one, and then for the other one I wanted it even slightly bigger, so I made it about 6¼ inches. So now I'll go ahead and sew these 2 edges together this way. So once I'm done doing this, I'm going to go ahead and just I'll fold this inner edge away, and then I'm going to sew this outer edge like so. So I'm just going to do it this way. And when sewing, I'll just make sure to fold the inner edge away so I don't mistakenly sew the inner edge, and just pull out the inner edge as we sew along, and just keep sewing. Yes, I'm pulling out as you can see me doing here. and I make sure to leave a little space, about 1 to 2 inches, because now we're going to turn this through this hole, bring it out. This is it. You can go ahead and give it a good press, but I don't think that's necessary. So now I'll take my 7.5 inch of elastic band. You can make yours 8.5 inches if you want it loose, but I want it to be a bit firm. So I'm just going to attach my elastic to my pin, my safety pin, and I'm just holding it in place with the foot of my machine so I don't lose the second end of the elastic. And then I will just go in, pull the elastic through. So now I'll go ahead and sew the elastic down and adjust the scrunchie. And next I'm going to go ahead, fold the edge that we left open and sew it, edge stitch it with my sewing machine. So here is our scrunchie. I use the contrasting color of thread, but you should use the same color if you want, but I wanted this brown. I like brown and mustard, so I just had to use it. So this is it. I'll go ahead now and finish up the third one. Yes, this is the third one because I made this earlier, so I made this a little loose, so I used 8.5 inches. I made this 7.5 inches, so it's a lot tighter. So I'll go ahead and make the third one. So here we go, guys. We ended up with 2 throw pillows, one big one and a smaller one, fluffy and nice, honestly. 3 scrunchies, 1 small one and 2 fuller ones. They're almost the same size, but this one is smaller. And 2 pin cushions. This I plan on attaching to like a jar cover later on with an elastic band, so I can just wear it on my hand when I work. This will just be on the table. So that's it, guys. From our scrap fabric we got these beautiful things. So next time, before you think of trashing your fabric, think of all the wonderful things you can use them for. That's it for this video. Bye.